Good evening, Florida, and welcome to Coastal Conservative News, where truth has a backbone and freedom still has a home. I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. We're bringing you the bold stories and real headlines and the voices that matter most right here from the heart of the free state of Florida.
From Tallahassee to the Sun Coast, we're tracking the political shifts, community victories, and constitutional battles shaping the future of our state and our nation.
That's right. So buckle up. It's time to get informed, get fired up, and get involved. This is CCN, Coastal Conservative News.
Thank you, everyone, for joining Coastal Conservative News. I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Thanks for joining us tonight for our week in review. Let's get started. Sarasota County schools have approved the installation of a new 120-foot cell phone tower at Taylor Ranch Elementary School in Venice, Florida. The decision is raising serious concerns from parents and community members who question the long-term health risks of placing a tower so close to a school. While federal agencies say the radiation levels fall within safety limits, many independent researchers and health advocates warn the science isn't sciencing, so to speak. Some studies have linked long-term exposure to radiofrequency radiation with sleep disturbances, memory problems, developmental delays, cancer, and even death. Sarasota parents are calling for stronger safeguards or for the project to be paused altogether. Their message is simple, really, guys. Meeting minimal federal standards isn't enough when our children's health is at risk. The district may have signed the deal, but the debate, Allie, is not over.
That's right. Summer is in full swing, and as more families head to the beach, it's important to remember sharks are out too. A 9-year-old girl is recovering after a shark attack off the coast of Boca Grande. She was snorkeling in shallow water with her family when a shark bit her arm, causing severe injuries. Wow. Doctors at Tampa General Hospital performed a complex surgery using arteries from her leg to restore blood flow. Despite the damage, she's already beginning to regain movement, and her recovery is showing real signs of progress. As beach season ramps up, experts urge families to stay alert.
You have to remember that. That and gators, right?
Oh my goodness.
Now,
Yes.
This Monday, the Religious Federation gathered in Washington, D.C. to demand stronger protections for religious and medical exemptions from school vaccine mandates, especially in states where parents have no legal option to opt out. This is an ongoing battle in not only K through 12, but colleges as well. Right now, all 50 states require certain vaccines for school entry. 4 out of 50 states do not allow religious or medical exemptions at all. California, of course, New York, Maine, and Mississippi. Mississippi was kind of a shocker for me. Advocates at Monday's event say the fight isn't over. They want protections nationwide. No parent should be forced to choose between their faith and their child's education. No medical student should have to choose between their diploma or their health. On the other hand, if the courts don't side with freedom of choice, it could trigger some changes that take away protections we are so blessed to have in other states like Florida. We need to tread carefully, Allie.
Absolutely. The Stay Awake America Tour is coming to Venice, Florida on June 21st through the 22nd. Join General Michael Flynn, Dom LeCoeur, Patrick Byrne, and others for 2 powerful days of faith, freedom, music, and truth, tackling issues like health freedom, education, and child trafficking. You can get your tickets at stayawakeamerica.com and be a part of the movement.
Plus, Allie and I are going to be there. We would love to see you guys.
Absolutely.
Now, this week, tensions are reaching a breaking point in the Middle East as war between Israel and Iran now feel almost inevitable. But behind the scenes, disturbing questions are being asked. Did Israeli leadership know about the October 7th attack before it happened? Many people said that back then. And did they choose not to act? Over 1,200 Israelis were brutally murdered that day, and more than 250 were kidnapped by Hamas in a surprise invasion that many now claim really wasn't a surprise at all. Reports show that regional allies sent warnings days in advance. Intelligence agencies spotted unusual activity. Kind of reminds me of 9/11, actually. Security officials raised red flags, yet somehow no action was taken. Top military and intelligence leaders were warned. Security agencies were aware. Even the highest levels of government reportedly had information, but still nothing. Now, some speculate this may have been more than a failure. It may have been allowed, even used, as a justification to expand military operations against Iran and its allies. Remember, Hamas is heavily funded by Iran. As war looms, we ask what the media won't. If October 7th could have been prevented, why wasn't it? And who benefits from what comes next? Stay awake, America, and make sure you join us tomorrow at our Stay Awake America event.
Absolutely. We'll continue to bring you the truth without the spin. Stay free, stay smart, and stay with CCN.
That's it for the Weekend in Review. Next up, we have Raj Dorsami with the Suncoast Community segment.
Girl, say it. It has been a week, and it's only Tuesday.
Girl, it has been a month. It's
been a-
2025.
it's
I
been
need
a
to
year.
read the terms and conditions.
We should have read the fine print
Should have
before
read the
we
fine print.
celebrated.
There's been so much going on with me. I don't know how to get rid of detox almost and get clarity.
It feels like it's almost like you can't think. It's hard to kind of focus on work and focus on being a mom and all the things that we juggle as women.
Because we want to excel at it, right?
Well, that's why we're here at We the People Health and Wellness Center.
Yeah. Get rid of the brain fog.
Get rid of the brain
We're
fog.
getting the brainstorm.
Brainstorm.
That's Make it rain.
Hello, my friends, welcome. And I'm delighted here to have my colleague, Tom Vale. Tom Vale, if you don't know him, he's known throughout the state. He is well known because he's a hardworking activist. He has run for supervisor of election. He has run for state, as a state representative, legislator. He has a successful printing company. And I'm delighted to have him today on our show because the topic he has is really, really timely. So first, Tom, how are you today?
Very well. Thank you for having me with you, Raj.
You are so welcome. My friend, the thing that Tom is going to be talking to us about, I said it was timely, and the reason why I said it was timely is because it is dealing with the sanctity of life. And when we talk about the sanctity of life, there are those of us who believe in sanctity of life. We want to protect all human life, even life in the womb. And then there's the other side. They call themselves pro-choice. Oftentimes, when I've spoken with the folks who call themselves pro-choice, what I'm always astounded by is how vehemently they are opposed. They're against things such as offering the mother an ultrasound of her baby so that she can make an informed choice. They are so against and even angry, furious even, about the idea that a mother could consider an alternative option to an abortion. They seem to be captured, I think, by some of the special interest groups, the big industry, the big business that profits from babies that are aborted, the body parts, just to be blunt. And so I asked myself, are these guys really pro-choice or are they just like pro-abortion? So anyway, you may fall on one or either side of that conversation, but the reason I think that what Tom is talking about today is so timely is because he, as a businessman, has found a successful model from Oklahoma, and he has a plan and a vision for how he wants to protect all life, including those of the unborn. So, Tom, again, delighted to have you here. Talk to the audience a little bit about what your ideas are.
Okay, in very simple terms, in one sentence, basically, what we're trying to do is ask the Governor DeSantis, to stop abortion with executive action. Everybody knows that killing a preborn child is murder. When a pregnant woman is killed, if it's intentional or manslaughter, it's treated as two murders, two killings. So this is true across the country. Even in liberal California, they prosecute people for murder for the unborn child, not just the mother. So I believe, based on what I've read in our state law and what I've heard from other people, the governor can actually say no more murders of preborn children. The abortion facilities are going to be shut down. The victims, the intended victims, the child is not going to be permitted to enter the facility to be murdered. Our state law specifically exempts the mother, the pregnant mother, and the abortionist from being prosecuted for murder. So the state law recognizes, our legislature recognizes that it is murder. But the governor can stop it by saying, we're not going to do this anymore. That's the whole
And
concept.
this model is something that gained a lot of visibility in the state of Oklahoma. Is that right?
Yes, there was a governor candidate, I think it was 22, ran on this issue. This was before the Dobbs decision where Roe v. Wade was basically overturned. And his main plank on his platform was ending abortion with executive action.
And in our state, we have the governor very motivated to have a legacy. We can see that in a lot of what he's doing, which, hey, more power to him. But you see this as a way for him to leave not just a Florida legacy, but an international legacy, I believe.
If he were to stop abortion or even attempt to stop abortion in the method that I'm suggesting, he would be nationally famous and probably internationally famous.
Well, what about the role of the church? Because the church is one of those groups. They represent a whole variety of Americans, every demographic, every race. Uh, do they have and they in their faith as Christians have a position on the sanctity of life? Do they have a role here? Have they played that role? What does that look like in Florida, Tom?
Well, Raj, it's a complicated issue. As you know, there's hundreds of denominations and variations in the Christian faith. But my belief is we've got one Bible. This is our guidebook. And I believe it protects or defends the sanctity of life. And I believe that any Christian, every Christian, should be saying we're not killing people. We're just not going to do that. Think of the Ten Commandments. It's right there. So churches should be supporting the pro-life agenda. And it's not just about abortion. There are other issues related to this. But they really should be specifically opposed to abortion. It's the intentional killing of an innocent child.
So arguably, if the churches chose, or some churches chose, to stand with this vision that you're putting out there, that I think would motivate a lot of what the politicians do. But speaking about politics, and if they don't, the other side is true. If they don't make their voice known and their intentions clear, it does the very opposite, for sure. It actually empowers those people that are opposed to what Christians claim as one of their main tenets. So their silence empowers the opposition dramatically. But speaking of empowering politicians and persuading politicians, we're entering into a governor's race. So we've got other politicians that are hoping to be the next governor. Do they have a role in this? Could they have a role? How do you think, Tom, that they should play this to their benefit?
Well, every social issue is like a ping pong game or a football game. Who moves the ball and who gets the most benefit from it? This is a major issue. It affects a lot of people. It's very popular in the sense that everybody knows about it. Most people have an opinion. So a person a candidate that uses this properly can advance his cause. And this is what's happened with this issue. The Democrats go one way and they get their supporters to support their idea, their pro-death idea. And Republicans tend to be pro-life, so they get most Republican voters to support the pro-life position. But they're all afraid of this in a certain sense. They don't want to lose this. It's a way to get support without really winning the battle, without winning the war. And that's the issue that I'm facing right now. I want to stop this completely. It can be done. We've been lied to for 50 years with the Roe v. Wade decision. That's gone. We need to change the landscape, the political and social landscape, change how people think about this issue.
So if for people that are listening to this and they see the value of this vision, this possibility, this thing that is so important, what can the public that are watching this, what can they do, Tom? Because you talked about the governor, that's Governor DeSantis, having the opportunity to exhibit some strong leadership, clear leadership on this. We've talked about whoever's trying to run for governor this coming year. You've talked about the church. And all of these things are all going to be a function of which voice is going to be heard louder. And conversely, it's going to be a function of which group chooses to be passive, sit on the sidelines, and let someone else decide the outcome of this very important issue. So given all of that, what are the actions that the folks that are watching this video could take, Tom?
So the main focus of what I'm doing right now is an unofficial postcard petition to the governor. We're trying to get at least 1,000 postcards from every county, all 67 counties in Florida, sent to the governor. And the postcard's pre-printed, and all you have to do is sign it. You don't even have to do that really, but we want to show the governor that they're legitimate people demanding this, requesting this. So if we get all these postcards going into the governor, it's going to tell him there's a tremendous amount of support to end abortion all around the state. It tells the governor how the people think, but at the same time, it tells the people sending the card that it's a simple message. The governor can stop this. You can be a part of stopping this as the person sending in the postcard.
So real excellent call to action. How do people get the postcard, or how do people contact you? What does that look like?
Well, we've got a website, stopabortionron.com, Ron being Governor Ron DeSantis. And on the website, there's some information that kind of explains the idea, the concept behind this. But there's a way there on the website to purchase postcards, and they'll be shipped direct anywhere in the state.
Well, we've been talking to Tom Vail, and thank you very much for listening. Importantly, thank you in advance for taking the action. If you see the value and the importance of what Tom's talking about, please visit that website again. And Tom, I'm going to ask you to repeat that website for the viewers to make sure they get it.
stopabortionron.com.
Thanks, Tom. And look forward to speaking with you again very soon.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you, Raj, for that report. Next up is our political pulse segment right here on CCN. Welcome back to Coastal Conservative News. This is your political pulse, where we track the bold moves, fierce debates, and critical wins shaping the future of the free state of Florida.
From border crackdowns and court battles to victories for parents and big developments in Jacksonville, we've got a full roundup tonight for you.
That's right, Michelle. Let's kick it off with a bold proposal from Florida's Attorney General that's getting national attention and rattling the cages of open border activists everywhere.
Attorney General James Uthmeier here at the Miami-Dade Collier training facility. This is an old, virtually abandoned airport facility right in the middle of the Everglades. Florida's been leading on immigration enforcement, supporting the Trump administration and ICE's efforts to detain and deport criminal aliens. The governor tasked state leaders to identify places for new temporary detention facilities. I think this is the best one. As I call it, Alligator Alcatraz. This 30 square mile area is completely surrounded by the Everglades. Presents a efficient, low-cost opportunity to build a temporary detention facility because you don't need to invest that much in the perimeter. If people get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Within just 30 to 60 days after we begin construction, it could be up and running and could house as many as 1,000 criminal aliens. This presents a great opportunity for the state of Florida to work with Miami-Dade and Collier counties. Alligator Alcatraz, we're ready to go.
That's right, Allie. Attorney General James Uthmeier has proposed creating a secure detention center for criminal illegal aliens surrounded by Florida wildlife. We're talking alligators and pythons, Allie.
And no, this is not a joke. This is not Florida man jokes. Does it sound extreme? Well, that's the point. The AG says the design would deter escape and ensure public safety.
And while critics call it theatrical, supporters say if you come here illegally and commit crimes, you shouldn't expect comfort. You should expect consequences somewhere in the Everglades, I guess.
That's right. It's bold, it's Florida, and it's sparking headlines for a reason. Meanwhile, in the world of international travel, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a new nonstop flight from Florida to Paris.
That's right. In a recent X post, he shared, quote, "We're expanding Florida's global reach and making it easier for families, tourists, and businesses to travel across the Atlantic."
Beyond convenience, this signals Florida's growing global presence and a direct investment in tourism and commerce.
And speaking of strong moves, Allie, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that military personnel will be deployed to Florida and other states to assist ICE with deportation operations.
Federal help is on the way, but it's the result of state-level leadership demanding real action.
Yes, this collaboration marks a new phase in immigration enforcement, one that Florida is clearly leading.
In other news, in Osceola County, the Florida Highway Patrol arrested an illegal alien responsible for a tragic, fatal hit and run.
This is the very real cost of illegal immigration, guys. One innocent life gone. And it shouldn't have happened. This isn't a political issue, right, Allie?
Right, it is definitely not. It's a public safety crisis, and Florida is taking it very seriously.
Guys, next, a major win, finally a celebration for Florida, for Florida parents in Alachua County. After backlash, school officials have walked back a controversial camp policy that would have had boys and girls bunking together. Who would have thought?
Oh my goodness. Florida Voice reports the reversal came after parental pushback and legal pressure. This is a prime example of why vigilance and your voice really matter.
Absolutely. Common sense won this time, so we're so grateful for that. And that's thanks to parents who stood their ground.
That's a fact. All right. Meanwhile, AG, Attorney General James Uthmeier, is in the hot seat yet again, this time in court.
An Obama-appointed judge has held him in contempt, claiming he refused to prevent police from arresting illegal aliens and cooperating with the Trump administration. I thought that's what his job was to cooperate with the Trump administration.
Who would have thought, right? But supporters say this is judicial overreach, punishing a state official for prioritizing public safety.
Yeah, you know, AG Uthmeier's office hasn't backed down one bit, and neither has Florida.
Which is fantastic. And after months of debate, Florida's legislature has finally passed the state budget.
The only job of your state senators and representatives, and they finally got it done. Key takeaways, guys. They expanded funding for education freedom. There's infrastructure upgrades and more resources for law enforcement. Now, the package includes $1.3 billion in tax relief, yay, $115 billion total spending, and a cut, Allie, of about $3 billion.
This is the largest recurring tax cut in state history. It's a budget that reflects Florida's priorities, freedom, families, and the rule of law.
Absolutely. And on other news, finally, a major economic win for Northeast Florida.
Jacksonville has been chosen as the site of a new advanced manufacturing facility by Auto Aviation, bringing jobs, innovation, and investment to the region.
Yes, DeSantis hailed it as a, quote, testament to Florida's pro-growth policies. And it's just another reason why businesses keep choosing the Sunshine State.
From courtroom battles to conservative victories, Florida continues to stand strong against federal pressure, against chaos, and for our families.
And this week's Political Pulse proves again, when Florida leads, the rest of the country watches.
Absolutely. Keep it right here. There's more CCN right after this.
Hi guys, welcome back to CCN. Here is Kevin Gamble with this week's Faith in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Faith in Focus, where we explore the intersections of science, reason, and belief. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic: how some of the world's greatest scientists, through their groundbreaking discoveries, found their way to faith in God. We will spotlight Alan Sandage, the protege of Edwin Hubble, and others who saw divine fingerprints in the cosmos. Plus, we'll unpack how the laws of logic, those immaterial, universal truths, point to a transcendent reality beyond humanity. Let's get started. Picture this. It's the mid-20th century, and the universe is revealing its secrets through telescopes and equations. Alan Sandage, a brilliant astronomer, is working at the Carnegie Observatory's building on the legacy of Edwin Hubble, the man who showed the universe is expanding and had a beginning. Sandage's mission? To pin down the Hubble constant and estimate the age of the universe. His work leads to discoveries like the first quasar and more accurate cosmic timeline, about 14 billion years. But something unexpected happens. In 1983, Sandage, after decades of peering into the cosmos, announces he's becoming a Christian. Why? His science, he says, revealed a universe too intricate to be a product of chance. In a 1998 Newsweek article titled "Science Finds God," Sandage is quoted saying, "It was my science that drove me to the conclusion that the world is much more complicated than can be explained by science. It is only through the supernatural that I can understand the mystery of existence." Sandage saw the Big Bang, the universe's sudden beginning from nothing, as a supernatural event that physics couldn't fully explain. He argued that the creation event pointed to a transcendent cause, something beyond space, time, and matter. This wasn't blind faith. It was a reasoned leap driven by evidence. Sandage wasn't alone. Other scientists wrestling with their discoveries also found faith. Take Francis Collins, the geneticist who led the Human Genome Project. Collins, once an atheist, was struck by the complexity of DNA. Billions of base pairs encoding life with precision. In his book, The Language of God, he describes how this code of life suggested a purposeful, intelligent designer. For Collins, the universe's fine-tuning, its precise constants that allow life, pointed to a purposeful mind behind it all. Then there's John Polkinghorne, a Cambridge physicist who helped discover quarks. Polkinghorne became an Anglican priest, convinced that the universe's mathematical elegance reflected a divine intelligence. He wrote, "There is no priori reason why beautiful equations should prove to be the clue to understanding nature. It is a significant insight into the nature of reality." These scientists didn't abandon reason. Their discoveries deepened their sense of awe, leading them to God. Now let's shift gears to the laws of logic, those invisible rules that govern thought and reality. Think about it. The law of non-contradiction says something can't be and not be at the same time. The law of identity says A is A. These principles aren't physical. You can't weigh them or put them under a microscope. Yet, they're universal, unchanging, and essential for reasoning. But where do they come from? For Christians, laws of logic reflect the nature of God, unchanging, immaterial, and transcendent. The Bible describes God as the source of wisdom and reason, with John 1:1 stating, "In the beginning was the Word," where word, logos, implies divine reason. If God is the foundation of reality, it makes sense that his nature underpins the logical order we observe. In an atheistic worldview, though, explaining immaterial laws gets tricky. If everything is just matter in motion, how do absolute non-physical laws emerge? Some argue logic is a human construct, but that doesn't hold up. If logic were merely a convention, different cultures could have conflicting logics, making debate impossible. Yet logic is universal, whether in ancient Greece or modern Japan, 2 + 2 = 4. Here's where it gets profound. The laws of logic transcend humanity. They existed before we did and will outlast us. They're not bound to space or time, suggesting a source beyond a physical universe. Christian philosophers like C.S. Lewis and Greg Banson have argued that logic's existence presupposes a rational, transcendent mind. God, without this foundation, logic becomes a mystery, floating in a materialistic void. Sandage himself saw this connection. He believed the universe's order, its mathematical precision, and logical coherence pointed to a purposeful, intelligent design. He wrote, quote, "The world is too complicated in all its parts and interconnections to be due to chance alone." For Sandage, the laws governing the cosmos included logic, were evidence of a divine architect. So what can we take away from this? Scientists like Alan Sandage, Francis Collins, and John Polkinghorne show us that science and faith are not enemies. Their discoveries, whether the universe's beginning, DNA's complexity, or nature's mathematical beauty, led them to see God as the best explanation. The laws of logic, too, challenge us to consider a transcendent source. These immaterial universal truths don't just help us think, they hint at a rational mind behind reality itself. As Sandage put it, truth cannot be contrary to truth. Science and faith, when pursued honestly, converge on the same reality. Whether you're gazing at the stars or pondering the laws of thought, the evidence invites us to look beyond the material, to a God who created it all. Thanks for joining me on Faith in Focus. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend or leave a comment. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Kevin, for keeping our faith front and center this week. And that's a wrap on this week's edition of Coastal Conservative News, where we cut through the noise and bring clarity to chaos.
That's right. Remember, freedom doesn't preserve itself. From school boards to state houses, your voice, your vote, and your vigilance matter more than ever.
We'll keep standing on truth and shining the light on what others won't, because here in Florida, we don't retreat, we lead.
That's right, Allie. Stay bold, stay informed, and stay rooted in the values that make this nation and this state strong.
For CCN, I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Thank you for watching Coastal Conservative News. God bless you, and God bless the great state of Florida.